Guess where we are?
We are in Venice.
Today morning we woke up in Rimini and caught a bus all the way from Rimini to Venice, and then we had to walk around 3 kilometers from the bus stop to our hostel. Right behind us, that's where we are.
So we're not couch surfing here. It's incredibly touristy and it's almost impossible to find a place to stay. And even the cheapest hostel, this is the only one on the whole the group of islands here that makes up Venezia. Even here, a bed for one night is about 30 euros. So we decided to spend just tonight here. We have the next few hours until sunset, and then tonight, and then
half of tomorrow. So let's go explore Venice.
Today is incredibly crowded because it happens to be a Sunday and also the last weekend before the Carnival ends. We never planned our timing to visit Venice for this Carnival, but it just so happens that this is that weekend.
And you can see everybody wearing different kinds of masks, wearing costumes. It all looks like colorful and fancy.
Yeah. Oh look, it's the Grand Canal. I must say, we have never been in a place more crowded than this, but we have just now stepped into a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is the very center of Venice. It's called the San Marco Square.
Oh my god, the number of people here, it's so crazy. Even in India, we have not seen these many people.
Yeah, it's the crowd is just so amazingly big today. We are now walking through one of the quieter alleys. We are just off of San Marco Square, and we thought we'd tell you a little bit about Venice. Venice is actually made up of a bunch of small islands, and these islands actually never existed. In the medieval ages, this was actually part of the sea. Small banks of sand were actually located right here, on top of which many people came and started to put logs of wood. They drove it into the mud to sort of make some kind of stable land that they could stand on. Eventually, that became an artificial island of wood, on top of which they began to build buildings. And that is why a lot of these buildings date back to a very long time ago, to the medieval ages. As more and more buildings began to get constructed on top, a lot of these islands began to sink because all of this wood was sitting on very loose mud. And then slowly Venice began to sink lower and lower. It got worse when during the 19th and 20th centuries, a lot of industries began pulling out water from under the soil. So again, this little town began to sink further and further into the sea. And at this point in 2026, the city and the sea level are almost at the very same point.
But today when you see all the buildings here are actually made up of concrete, but even today Venice is sinking 1 millimeter per year, every year.
Global warming isn't helping either because the sea level is rising at the same time. But anyway, Venice is super beautiful because it's probably one of the very few places on earth that actually looks like this. Every single road is actually a waterway. There is no road here. You can't bring cars, you can't bring buses, you can't even bring bicycles here.
You can either just walk or you just take a boat and ride on the canal. And can you believe there are 400 bridges in Venice?
And most people who live in these buildings, they don't have a garage to park their cars, but they actually have a garage to park their boats.
We're actually at a taxi park, not the kind we've seen before. It's a boat taxi park.
When the sun was out, it was super warm and nice. And now that it's starting to set, it's cold again. So we came back to the room, quickly picked up our jackets, and now we're on the move again. Now there's also a boat traffic jam. Yeah.
Time for some gelato.
We have now made it to the Rialto Bridge. This is supposed to be the most iconic bridge in all of Venice. It's also the oldest one, the first one to be built across the Grand Canal. And everybody's here to see sunset hour.
We just got a gelato and we're also going to do the same thing. Watch the sunset from up the bridge.
It's been so many days since we actually saw a nice sunset. It's always been cloudy, but today for the first time in a long time, it's been pretty sunny in Venice.
We finally found a place which was quiet and has this beautiful view of the bridge in front of us. There are so many gondolas going up and down the canal here.
And I must say, this is one of those moments that are very hard to believe. I mean, we're in Venice. Venice.
Venice!
I think most people here have gathered at the San Marco Central Square because there's a competition for the best mask, the most beautiful mask. So we decided instead to use this opportunity to sit at the more busy areas, which otherwise would have seen enormous crowds. So that's how we got here.
And in other news, today is actually our 10th year wedding anniversary.
So it was totally unplanned, but we ended up here in Venice, and every person we met along the way to Italy kept telling us, you have to go to Venice, it's the most romantic place in Italy. And somehow, just like that, we ended up here on the day of our wedding anniversary.
Yep.
So 10 years is a long time.
Even though we have known each other for 17 years.
Yeah, so Shish and I met in high school. We've been friends for a long time. We studied together, and then at the age of 22, we got married quite young. It's not very common for people in India to get married at that age, but it just so happened that in our case, that was the age we got married at.
Yep.
And then now we're 32, so that's 10 full years. And
We gave away our age now. Oh.
I think they know already.
Okay.
So 10 years, and we've had so many crazy things happen, but the craziest of all of them
has happened in the last 3.5 years.
I mean, we never imagined when we got married that at some point we'd be out traveling the world like this. And we're so grateful that we got to do it, at least until now.
Yep. It's just 7 o'clock and we're just walking in the alleys of Venice and it's literally empty now. We have the entire area just for us. It's so nice and so different from what we saw in the morning. I like this part of Venice. Quiet, lanterned streets. Very nice.
Now there's also a boat traffic jam. Look at that.
One more has come.
Brother, this is a big pile up. It's not the usual kind we have seen. It's different.
The tide is very high right now, so all the drains are pumping out some seawater, and now this entire place is flooding.